Welcome into the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Senior. We start off today's show with some 49ers rumors. Amari Cooper, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, could be released and cut by the Dallas Cowboys, which would then lead one of the top wide receivers in the NFL to become a free agent. Should the 49ers sign and go after Amari Cooper if he's let go by the Dallas Cowboys? Let's explore it. So ESPN's Adam Schefter said this on Twitter. Cowboys are likely to release wide receiver Amari Cooper by the start of the new league year, per league sources. Cooper is due $20 million in fully guaranteed money on the fifth day of the new league year, which is March 20th. Now, free agency is right around the corner. NFL draft coming at you April 28th to the 30th. So right now, teams are looking ahead, trying to find out their financial situations to put their rosters together to put together a run for a Super Bowl. And the Dallas Cowboys and San Francisco 49ers are certainly in those Super Bowl equations. For me, when I saw this news from Adam Schefter, my first thought was, what are the Cowboys doing? When the Cowboys made that trade for Cooper back a few years ago, he immediately changed Dak Prescott as a quarterback, and Prescott's numbers just went out the roof with Amari Cooper as his number one receiving option. So what is Dallas thinking here? They're going to move forward with CD Lamb as their number one. They're going to re-sign Michael Gallup, pay big money to Cedric Wilson. They have some questions at tight end, and they're going to move on from Amari Cooper, who's been the best wideout target for Dak Prescott. A little bit weird for an organization that usually has no problems at all with paying big-time money to their players, and an organization that forked over $90 million to Ezekiel Elliott, who has been washed the last couple of years. Now, Cooper is coming off a down year in 2021, but he was still pretty solid. 68 catches coming off of injury, 865 yards, 8 touchdowns, average yards per catch of 12.7. This is one of the only times over the last 7 years that he has not compiled a 1,000-yard season. For a long time, Cooper has been a reliable target on the outside. He is sure-handed, great route runner, and has 5 1,000-yard seasons over his last 7. As for where the 49ers stand on the Amari Cooper sweepstakes if he's let go, I think the Niners are set because I think Amari Cooper is going to be too expensive. I think John Lynch has talked about, obviously, them putting money aside to pay Deebo Samuel, and I think that the 49ers want to pay Deebo Samuel. Brandon Ayuk going into a critical year 3. You're paying big money to George Kittle, so you can't really afford to pay a large chunk of your salary to Amari Cooper, especially with the uncertainty around Jimmy Garoppolo's contract and standing with this organization, because John Lynch said, yeah, we've budgeted for him to potentially come back and compete with Trey Lance, which I don't buy into. Now, here are the highest paid wide receivers in the NFL per year. DeAndre Hopkins, 27+ mil. Julio Jones, 22 even. Bad contract for Tennessee, by the way. Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, and Michael Thomas rounding things out. Cooper was due $20 million in guaranteed money, and that's a big reason why the Cowboys want to move on. I just don't understand the move because I still think he's a productive player, and he's been Dak's right-hand man. And I think Dak Prescott is a quarterback who needs weapons around him in order for him to be successful. So I've kind of voiced my opinions on Amari Cooper. I want to hear where the faithful is at. Are you in or are you out on Amari Cooper? Your opportunity to be a part of the show and treat the comment section like a Sports Talk Radio call-in line. Type Y for yes, type N for no. This will be the pinned comment on today's video, so make sure you get that response in. As for Amari Cooper's strengths, he's an elite route runner. He consistently gets open because he's a good route runner and has really good feet. He's good after the catch, and while he doesn't have blazing breakaway speed, he is crafty in the open field. He opens up targets for other wide receivers, and when he has to go up, he certainly has good body control as well. Now, the Amari Cooper effect on Dak has been real the last couple of years, and it was certainly real when the acquisition of Amari Cooper was made back in 2018. Before the Cowboys traded for Cooper in that deal with the Raiders, Dak was completing 62% of his passes, 202 yards per game. That's paltry. 8 touchdowns, 4 picks, and a rating of 87.5. After that, though, you see the completion percentage go up by about 9 points. Yards per game goes up by 72. Touchdowns goes up a lot. Interceptions remain the same, but with more games played, and the quarterback rating went up about 13 points as well. Now, if you were to think about bringing Amari Cooper into San Francisco and bring him into the Bay Area, more support for Trey Lance is always good for an inexperienced quarterback who's going into year 2. If he is your starter, only has 2 starts under his belt, but there are cheaper options out there for San Francisco, like finding other wide receivers on the open market and potentially other wide receivers in the NFL draft. That's what's coming up around the corner. But first, rate Amari Cooper as a player and do it on the Madden scale. EA Sports, it's in the game. Scale it for me 1 to 100, 1 being he sucks, 100 being elite. And if you want to scale my EA Sports Madden impersonation, you can do that as well. Either way, get that comment section popping off. We are really pleased to announce a new partnership here on the 49ers Report. You can now find our content on Rumble. Free and uncensored content over there on that website. Sports, news, politics, tech, business items as well. And we're growing to platforms that all of our viewers use. So you look at social media, right? Not everybody is on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, OnlyFans. Not everybody consumes their video content on only one platform. So we figured, okay, we're going to push out our content on YouTube. We're going to put it on Rumble as well. So give us a follow over there. How do you do that? Go to rumble.com/49erstv, and you can take in our 49ers content on Rumble. That link is down below. I'm going to put it in the comment section as well as the description of this video. And Niner Gang, I want you to show out because New York Giants now is a small channel with like 5,000 subs. We have almost 60,000 subs, and New York Giants now has already more than 100 followers on Rumble. Let's overtake them and all of the other channels here at Chat Sports this weekend. What are the 49ers going to do in the 2022 NFL Draft? They have a couple of positions of need going into draft time. NFL Draft set for April 28th to the 30th in Las Vegas. And here on the 49ers Report, we're getting you up to date with all of the big takeaways, news, rumors, and rumblings from the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. I am Chase Sr. Appreciate all of you for watching the 49ers Report. So, should San Francisco draft wide receiver Christian Watson? He's a familiar name and face to Trey Lance because he played his college football at North Dakota State and is a former teammate of Trey Lance. He ran at the NFL Combine on Thursday, and because he ran a 4.36 40-yard dash and comes in at 6'5", really good size, really good speed, he is immediately rising up draft boards. He also met with the 49ers at the Combine, but the big problem and the big issue for the Niners, if they want a tall wide receiver who is a vertical threat, he's rising up draft boards. He might not be available at 61 when the 49ers come around for their first selection in the NFL Draft. As for what he did this past year with the Bison at North Dakota State, he was really good. 43 catches, 800 yards, 7 touchdowns, 18.5 yards per catch. He can go up and climb the ladder for some jump balls and make some contested grabs, but as evidenced by the 40 time, as evidenced by the film, he has blazing speed as well, and Trey Lance loves uncorking that deep ball. Could he do it with his former teammate? Here's what Watson had to say about Trey Lance. As a leader, I just described Trey as that guy. He's a dude in everything that he does on and off the field. He's a student of the game. Everything he does is him trying to get better at being a man and being a football player. So Trey Lance is a dude. As far as Christian Watson's fit goes in Kyle Shanahan's offense, I think it would be great. A vertical field stretcher on this 49ers offense would be a great luxury for Trey Lance if he ends up being the quarterback here in 2022. George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, they run a lot of their routes underneath, and a lot of their routes were limited with Jimmy Garoppolo as the starting quarterback. I think Brandon Ayuk has the ability to be a vertical stretcher of the field because he can really get up and down with some elite speed. But the point here being, you take Christian Watson and he stretches the field vertically, how much space does that open up on the underneath routes for Deebo, for George Kittle, and for Brandon Ayuk? For that reason, man, I would absolutely love the fit for Watson in the Bay. I'm just not sure he's going to last until 61. Do you want the Niners to draft Watson? Type D for draft, type P for pass, get those votes in. From Christian Watson, Let's go to James Cook of the defending national champion Georgia Bulldogs, who plays running back, and I actually think he's going to be a better pro player than he was a college player. The name might sound familiar, like Christian Watson, but James Cook, his brother is Dalvin Cook. Limited career workload with the Georgia Bulldogs, which is why I like him coming into the NFL draft. Just 230 carries throughout his collegiate career. He flashed plenty this year for Georgia as a pass catcher, but also as a runner who can run in between the tackles, but also has that speed to get out to the perimeter as well. The cool thing about James Cook, he can really catch the ball out of the backfield on wheel routes, on some screen passes, and I think he could be a very dangerous weapon in this offense. But you look forward and you look at the roster for San Francisco. They have Elijah Mitchell, 6th-round pick. I think he's going to be your starter. You took Trey Sermon in the 3rd round of the NFL draft out of Ohio State. Do you want to use yet another draft pick on a player like James Cook? Let's say he slides to the 3rd round. You have those compensatory picks from the Mike McDaniel hiring and the Robert Saleh signings, right? So if Cook is still available in the 3rd round and you want to go best player available, I could see San Francisco going this route. They have also met with Cook at the NFL Combine as well. Now here on the channel leading up to the NFL draft, we're going to continue to talk about all of these prospects who the 49ers can draft over the next month and change. So I want you to get into the comment section before we hop out of here and name a prospect you want the Niners to draft, and give me some names or names in the comment section. Make sure you hit that red subscribe button down below and enjoy your weekends.